Hi, my name is Russ Tarver. I'm the pastor of the Southern Hills United Methodist Church in Sioux Falls. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time with the help of sight and sound to tell you the story of our new church.
It was a Camelot for us, really, for Russ and me. It was, starting something new that was exciting and bringing in people that hadn't been going to church anywhere, hadn't had any much of a church background. It was just a fresh start for all of them.
This is Reverend Henry Corr, our district superintendent. Hank was a member of the committee that first looked into developing a new church in Sioux Falls and that eventually selected this site. I've asked him to say a little bit about how all that went. Hank, would you like to say a word?
The decision was made to go here because the population shift is going to be moving more to the south and to the east here at this point. Besides, it's going to be a major intersection down here with a brand new school going across the street being built right now. It's just a prime place. In South Dakota, as you know, the most of the population shift is coming from the rural community. Rural towns are getting smaller, but cities like Sioux Falls are getting bigger. And our young people are coming, and we need to be here, we need to have facilities, and we need to have churches ready to meet their needs when they come to Sioux Falls.
Here we see some of our callers calling people who are in church in Sioux Falls. And they said we called about maybe about 25,000 calls, talked to about 12,500 people, and identified about 14,000 families who were unchurched. Now Jenny's placing flowers on the altar. Don and Jenny hanging our banner in our auditorium. This is a banner that Jenny made. Here the altar is being placed under the banner, which is then lifted to its proper place.
The library at Robert Frost School for a nursery, and we have to come in and rearrange the chairs and tables and empty the tubs of toys. We have volunteers each Sunday to sit with the children. And here comes Brian Hardy.
I bet she does.
Rob Jr.
Here we see our congregation gathering for worship. We begin by greeting one another. This is a very friendly church. The children's sermon is an important part of our service.
The little engine that could. It's an old story, but it's a good one.
This is the only United Methodist Church in South Dakota in which you can slam dunk the offering. Coffee fellowship time is a very important time in the life of our congregation.
Good morning. Hi, Scott. John. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's fun. Now comes the cleanup time when we have to take the chairs down, banner down.
And it was a good experience. When they had a roast for us. Have you ever heard of having a roast for the minister? But anyway, it was besides the farewell party. And the lay leader got up and he said, "Russ, you took us as we were and loved us." And I thought, amen, that was what he did. And it was so neat that they felt that way. They came in their sweats and their jeans and, however. And that was great. We were just glad to have them.
My name is Fern Stringham, and I'm the church treasurer. I'm visiting with Louise about her fantastic trip.
Tell us a little bit about your past church membership. That might be interesting for the people. You've been a member of another church.
Oh, I belonged to First Church for years, and I went sporadically. And then when I started working full-time, I just quit going to church. And once you don't know the ministers anymore, it's hard to get back. And so the reason I came here was because I got a telephone call, and now the children are gone, and there wasn't any reason not to be to church. I just hadn't gone, so that's how I started coming to church.
What do you think of coming to Southern Hills? What do you think of starting a new church?
I love it. I think it's really exciting.
Okay.
It's just like being in on the ground floor.
Okay, and Lisa, how do you like worshiping at Robert Frost School?
It's not, I guess it's not where you worship, it's the people that you with.
Here we have the first, second, and third grade class.
This is called the window of your life. You can make it your own creation.
We have teacher Leanne Schwabach and her husband Joe helping her. And this morning we have a mother that's helping also, Sharon Hess. Here we have the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade class with Cricket Mercer as their teacher. And it's a nice sized class. This is about the usual attendance, I think. Is that right?
When I think back about Russ and try to describe him to people, I think of Mr. Rogers, the show for children, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers always began the show and ended the show with an affirmation. And at either the beginning or the end, he would say, "I like you just the way you are." And I think Russ, even though he didn't look anything like Mr. Rogers and he didn't really have that persona, he had a way of making adults feel that he liked you just the way you are.
See, if I could interrupt, I have come in and caught the adult church school class in action. And I'll maybe just say a word about, not I say a word, but maybe you'd like to say a word about the class. Ginny Tarver is the facilitator, but I think they have shared leadership of the group. Anybody want to volunteer what this group has done and what it's meant to you? Or what are you doing here?
I feel very positive about this.
Do you want to speak up, please?
I feel very positive about this church group. What we do here is interpret a lesson each week, and we do share leader. Today I'm the leader, so I'm speaking, I suppose, but and share things in our lives too, that how God works in our life, and God's plan. This whole book is about God's plan.
Sylvia Thorsten, the person just spoke. What's the name of your book?
Christian Adulthood. And we've been talking about goals, and today we're talking about crises.
Hi, Lois. This is Pat Johnson with the Southern Hills United Methodist Church. I wanted to call and thank you for being part of our worship service last Sunday. We'll look forward to seeing you this Sunday if you can be with us. Well, we'd sure like to see you if you can join us. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
Pat Johnson, who's the chair of our evangelism committee at Southern Hills Church, called one of the visitors at our church. Meeting of the administrative council. It's our first meeting as an official council
Really good to have games, especially if someone wanted to help her organize, or be in charge of getting the food lined up.
He was accepting and positive and the best encourager I ever met. And for him, that was living out the gospel. To share that extravagant welcome that Jesus offered to everyone, regardless of their station.
Our church was chartered on April 7th. It turned out to be a very big day for us. Some 150 people were present, representing a number of churches in and around Sioux Falls. Gifts were presented to us.
I'm Bill Webster from the Rowena congregation, and we hope that God will richly bless you and hold you in the palm of His hand. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Rowena, folks.
Charter members were received and recognized on April 7th, 1991.
Reverend Thor, who will examine our members, let me say this to you, thank these persons who stand before you have received the sacrament of baptism, have also been instructed in the teachings of the church, and are now ready to profess publicly the faith into which they are baptized. And being that this is a charter Sunday, I'd like all current members of Southern Hills to also please stand and review the membership vows, your membership vows with us, please. Please stand. This is always an honor and holy moment in the life of the congregation. Do you hear the hearts of God and of this congregation renew the solemn promise and vow that you made, or that was made in your name at your baptism? So I said, I do.
When we came to Southern Hills, we were really fortunate because the people that were staff here, Russ Tarver, Marcia Seetstra, those folks laid a really good foundation. And so it was easy to build on that. That doesn't mean that you come in and things don't, I mean, there aren't any snags. There are always snags, and you don't always jive, mesh with everyone. But Russ Tarver laid incredible groundwork for the ongoing ministry of this church. And I think that needs to be recognized.
Our church was duly organized by Bishop Lewis.
By what name shall this church henceforth be known?
Southern Hills United Methodist Church.
In accordance with the laws and the discipline of the Methodist Church, I hereby declare that the Southern Hills United Methodist Church is duly constituted and organized for the glory of God, the proclamation of the gospel, and the service of humanity. Russell, it's indeed a very special privilege and honor for me to make the presentation of this charter to you and to the congregation of Southern Hills United Methodist Church today.
Thank you, Bishop.
It's done.
I remember being at his funeral, and one of the things his oldest son said, and I resonated with this, is that before he died, when Russ was in hospice, he took the time when you went to visit him, no matter who it was, to ask how you were, of course, to focus on you, but he always said, I want to share 4 things with you, because this might be the last time we talk. I want to say thank you, and I love you, and please forgive me, and I forgive you. And of course, he would expand on that to say, throughout my life, I'm sure I've done things that I need to ask forgiveness for, and perhaps you do too. But I want to say thank you for everything, and I want to tell you how much I love you.